Before you watch this video, I warn you that there are spoilers from The Walking Dead and The Ones Who Live. I have made a pyramid type of thing where I will place the villains from least villain to supervillain. First at the bottom we got the troublemakers, Ed Pelletier. He wasn't really a villain, just a guy who acted tough and did everything for himself. He abused his own wife and daughter, had problems with everyone in the group until he got his ass beaten by Shane and later got eaten. Next on the troublemaker list we have Pete Anderson, just a guy living in Alexandria who was also abusing his wife. When Rick started noticing this, they got into a bad argument that all ended with him doing this to Reg and later Rick doing this to him. Moving up on the pyramid layers we got the antagonists, starting with Merle. Someone who was kind of an asshole and a bad person in general, but really he was doing everything possible for his family, in my opinion. That's why he's this low on my list. After having trouble with everyone in Atlanta, he got abandoned, and then had a stint with the governor, where he acted like a villain, but again, when he found Daryl, he just wanted to go with him until he got. Next on this tier, we have the claimers. I don't think anybody liked these people, but again, they weren't really evil. They were just trying to survive, just with rules that were a little strict, but they never had evil intentions toward other random groups. The group consisted of 7 people and Daryl at one point, but really everyone just remembers Joe and Lynn. The Reapers were very similar to the Claimers. Really just a group who had crazy rules and a crazy leader, but they just wanted to survive. I guess they did kind of want to end Maggie's group, but there was a reason for that, and the most villainous characters from this group would be Pope and Brandon, maybe even Leah in the last episodes of her being alive. Then we have Jared. This guy really pissed me off. Dude was a troublemaker for no reason, looking at the fact he was only abusing his power. Shot Benjamin for no reason, caused problems for the Kingdom people, and when he was ended, I was very, very happy. There was also Dante, the spy from Whisperers who lived inside Alexandria, even was a doctor there, but then betrayed everyone and ended Sadiq's life. Last on this list, I put Shane. Yep, Shane. Maybe it's a surprise to a lot of people, but I personally never saw Shane as a villain. Yeah, he was trying to end Rick and make the group his, but he was a little villain, not a big villain in my eyes. Like I said before, he was just a guy who had problems with most people, but never really had bad intentions except for the Rick situation. If I changed something, I maybe, just maybe, would put him one tier higher, but nothing higher than that. Let's move to the next layer. The villains. In my words, just bad people with dark motives. First on this tier is Dawn, leader of the police group at the hospital. From the start, it looks like she's doing some great job saving people, but realistically, it's a completely corrupt system where she abuses the workers to gain stuff for herself. Maybe you could say she was a tier lower, but that changed at her last appearance, where she blew Beth's head off. Next on this list, we have the Wolves. The Wolves consisted of 3 people, Owen, Nick, and Aphid. They were just a terrible group who ended people, carved W's on their heads, and attacked communities while being kind of sneaky. Then there's Beta, part of the Whisperers, which was a villain group itself, but realistically they only had 2 people, Alpha and Beta was hella villainous. Never scared of anybody, wanted to end everybody, had lots of fights with Daryl and their group, and was also a bad person with evil intentions. Next is Gregory. Maybe you think, how is he above Beta and others without ever really killing anybody? But listen, he did try to end Maggie's life, and he was a real bitch, doing anything just to save himself, and because he had some power being the leader of Hilltop, he was ready to trade his people's lives with the Saviors just so he could be safe. I would say he's a little bit different side of villain, but still a very bad villain in the series. Then we have the Terminus people, and mostly it was Gareth. I mean, looking at what they did, this could even be too low a tier for them. They literally put out signs that they had a nice place to survive, and then they butchered the people who came there. And if that's not bad enough, you know what else they did? They ate the meat of the people they butchered. After Terminus got swarmed in the fight, they didn't stop there. They later attacked Rick's group at the church and took Bob, and guess what they did again? Yes, they kidnapped him and ate his leg. Then Bob had the iconic laugh, and then this happened. Last on this list, we have the Commonwealth. This includes the Miltons and Lance Hornsby. There were more people, but these ones were running the Commonwealth and keeping the corrupt system for their own gain. We can talk about a lot of things they did, but mainly they just wanted to find new communities, make friends with them, and slowly take them over. The whole Commonwealth was a big corruption where people with power did everything just to make their lives easier. The 4th layer of the pyramid, the arch-villains. The people who want to take over the world. First on this layer is Jadis. Now listen, if you haven't seen The Ones Who Live, I suggest you skip this part because I'm going to give you a lot of spoilers. Maybe you think Jadis was not the biggest villain in the Walking Dead original series? Well, I agree. She did betray Rick and just lived with her garbage people and survived with her people. But if you have seen The Ones Who Live, you know what I'm talking about. This scene where she picks up Rick. Later you see that she was actually an inside spy for the CRM. She was looking for communities for people to destroy. She said it was real, and she loved her people because she had lived there for a long time, but all the time she was just searching for information to bomb other communities. She did keep Alexandria Alexandria and other communities a secret, but really she blackmailed Rick and made him do bad things just to keep this secret a secret. When she saw Michonne arriving, that all changed. She did everything to stop Michonne and Rick from returning and almost exposed their community. Well, I'm not going to talk too much, just go watch the series. In my opinion, she was a big villain, and knowing what she really was made the show completely different for me. Next on this arch-villain list is Alpha. Maybe she and Beta should be on the same level, maybe not. I put her higher because she was the leader, and because of the stuff she did to teach a lesson. She was a crazy woman, but also loved her daughter Lydia. She used crazy delusional rules to make her stronger, when really she was just abusing the people around her. She made this border to send a message, tried to destroy communities and take over them, ended so many important characters' lives. Her stint ended when she got played by an even bigger villain. Now the last three biggest villains of the series, my number 3, still at the 4th tier, is Simon. I would say one of my favorite characters, but he was a real villain. Of all the Savior high-ranking members, he was the coolest one and had some crazy scenes in his beautiful mustache. He became the top 3 villain for me when he cleaned out the garbage people and later got a nice beating from the man himself. Top 2 for me, still 4th tier, is the Pirate Governor, or Philip. I think he was one of the first leaders who got a pretty big group and a small city covered, but his intentions were not as he showed to his people. He wanted to take over everyone, and behind the scenes killed multiple groups just to get food and loot from other communities. When he and Rick met each other, he obviously wanted to take over the prison, and when Rick beat him, he didn't give up. He found a new group and pulled up with a tank, shot up the prison, sliced off Herschel's head in front of everyone, was just a crazy guy who got what he deserved. The last tier, the tier that can only take up one super villain. My number 1, the one and only, the Demon Negan. Man, if he's not the super villain, then I don't know who is. Best character in the world, the guy who had the best first episode ever. He terrorized everyone, and nobody wanted to mess with him. The leader of the Saviors, and at one point leader of every community around him, terrorizing them, stealing food, killing them if they weren't cooperating. To be honest, I really wished he never got sliced and captured by Rick. I wanted him to still be the villain because of the jokes, the sarcasm, and just his character. It was so perfect. Later, he kind of got okay with the Alexandria group and others, but still played some villain parts when he killed Alpha. Thanks for watching. Type down in the comments what type of video about The Walking Dead or any other TV series you would want to see next.